Hello. Welcome to our first quarterly What's New in Estateably virtual event of 2026. I am Hillary. I'm the marketing manager here at Estateably, and we're super happy to have you join us here today. Before we dive into the main content, I am going to cover some housekeeping items and a few announcements. So, Zoom setup. As everyone starts to join, I just want to let you know that the chat is currently open, and we are going to add some links in the chat throughout the webinar. But if you're up for it, let us know where you're joining us from today. So drop your city and country in the chat. And as I was searching for fun virtual event icebreakers, the results came back with ask your participants, what are you wearing on your feet? So today I'm going to ask that question. And for those of you who want to share, feel free to drop that into the chat. For those who work from home, I am wearing my felt glare up slippers in a turquoise, just to let you know. So that's what I got going on my end. So the chat, oh, look at that. We've got Ottawa, Kitchener, Perth. This is great. People are coming from everywhere. I love it. So the chat will be open right now, and then it'll be open at the end of the webinar. But throughout the event, we're going to use Q&A, and the Q&A we'll use for just general subject matter questions, and we'll manage the Q&A live. We'll manage it throughout the event. Or if we need to, we'll reach out to you after the webinar if we have to follow up on a question or keep a conversation going. So use the Q&A. Reactions are currently on just to make things a bit more interactive and fun. So feel free to use those throughout. Right now, you can react with a wave to let us know if this is your first time joining us for an event, or if you've been here before, give us a thumbs up just to test out those reactions. That'd be great. Raffle prize, just an FYI, all attendees who registered have been entered into our raffle drawing for a Loop and Tie gift card, and the winner will be announced at the end. So stay to the end and don't miss out because previous winners have selected their own gifts from Loop and Tie, and they've done things like jewelry and margarita glasses and a utility toolkit and salad bowls and packing cubes. So there's something good for everybody. So stay to the end. Our speakers and moderators today, of course, we've got our top What's New in Estateably team here as always, and I'm going to stop talking for a second and let everyone introduce themselves, and we'll start, Dahlia, with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Dahlia. I recognize a bunch of names here, so nice to see everyone who I've spoken to. Nice to meet everyone I haven't. I'm currently in Montreal, live in Montreal, was born here, spent my whole life in Montreal. And I am wearing black, very warm socks because it's currently ice raining here.
Nice. Marissa, you're up.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Marissa, joining you as well from Montreal, Canada. I'm a senior product manager here at Estateably, and I've been with the team for just over the last 4 years. I work closely with both our engineering and customer success teams, helping to shape and deliver the features that we're always excited to release to you and show you today, some of those today. Really happy to be here.
Awesome. Bianca?
Hi everyone, I'm Bianca, a product manager based in Montreal as well. I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you all for joining. I do hope you enjoyed the webinar. And yeah, it's a little side note and fun fact, I am wearing my green Crocs today.
Nice. Okay, Leonard, you're next.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Leonard. I'm the National Sales Executive here at Estateably. I'm currently based in Vancouver, and FYI, I am wearing some standard Costco socks today, pack of 20. Um, just letting you know that I'll be managing the Q&A section of today's webinar alongside Marissa and Bianca. But I'll also be posting how you can get in touch with us in the chat shortly at the beginning of the webinar alongside the end of the webinar. So if you want to get in touch with us after this session, please feel free to do so. But if you have any questions throughout the Q&A, throughout the webinar, please post them in the Q&A section and we'll answer them along the way. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Just FYI, Harry is wearing hikers. He is ready to go for this. And we've got some Uggs. I love it. Okay. So, the agenda for today, just so you know what to expect today and what we're going to be covering, we'll do a couple of important form and report updates. We're going to review our digital estate intake for New York. We'll go over updates for publishing notices both for US and Canadian users. We'll demo the statement import date of death holdings feature. We are going to go over the money type editing enhancements. And then at the end, we are going to demo our new transaction category management. So, stay to the end for that. Um, I'm going to talk for a little bit longer. Some general updates around Estateably. We have a beta testing opportunity. So if you have not seen what our investment statement import can do yet, now is a great time. So sign up to beta test it and we'll activate it in your account and then we'll reach out to you and we'll get you all set up and get you started to so you can start testing that feature. So sign up at that link and I'll drop those links. I'll drop all of the links in the chat as well too. Our benchmark study. So at the end of 2025, we surveyed 165 legal professionals and accountants and fiduciaries, and we asked them about their estate and trust workflows. We got a lot of great results, but one of the top two most requested technology features was investment data integration. So obviously, we want you to download the study and see how your firm compares, but then clearly sign up for the beta for the investment statement import because they go hand in hand. So those two items are will be in the chat for you guys to take advantage of. Upcoming conferences. We're going to be out in the wild for the next few months. Specifically tomorrow, we're going to be at the Canadian Estates CPD series in Mississauga, and that is a series of events that we are hosting with industry partners. Estate Search, Estate Planner, Custodius, Law Pro. We are hosting that in Mississauga, and we will also have a panel with Hull and Hull at that event. So I think we might have a couple of spots left, but if you're in the area, feel free to join us for that event if we still have space available. We're also going to be, next week, we're going to be in Massachusetts in Framingham at the Mass Bar Annual Probate Conference. Then we're going to be in Fargo and we're going to be in Dallas and Toronto. So we're going to be lots of different places. And lastly, we recently launched a LinkedIn newsletter called Duly Noted. So if LinkedIn is where you like to keep up with Estateably news, then definitely sign up for that newsletter on LinkedIn itself. So again, I am going to copy and paste all of those links and drop them in the chat right now. So you guys have all of those links. So there you go. Now, I am also right now going to launch a quick survey. Just it's optional. We'd love if you could participate, but the purpose is just to get some information about how all of you work and how we can support you in the work that you do. And it also helps us prioritize what we build and release and how we communicate with you. As an example, in this survey that I'm going to launch, we asked you how would you describe what the Estateably platform does to a colleague. So if you can answer that question, that would be incredibly helpful, says the selfish marketer. So I'm going to launch that survey now. You will see it. And again, you can answer this throughout the event. It'll be open for you throughout. Okay. All right. That's it for me. Let's get to the good stuff. Dahlia, the floor is now yours.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Hillary. So if you wouldn't mind going to the first slide, I'm just going to give a quick update. So for any of our participants that are here from Florida, we just wanted to let you know that we have recently launched the FLSSI updates in February for all of the forms that required them. And we also have done an update. This is for every user to our interim acknowledgement release and indemnity form. It required certain changes to the code in the back, updates to ensure that it was showing in a nice way and that all the information was being presented properly. So you can take a look at it and generate it whenever you have time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now so that I can show you the rest of the things we have in store today. All right, can I just get a thumbs up from anyone to make sure that my screen is sharing properly?
You're good.
Excellent. Okay, so today we are going to start here with our US, specifically New York clients. So this is a newer feature that we have available for you. It has to do with public notices. So currently you have the ability to file a public notice within your file. You get notified when there's any updates, when there's payments, etc. We've done a few updates here to ensure that your experience is smoother and you get advised in a quicker and easier way so that you know when things need to get done. The first one is actually in your main screen. So here you'll notice all I have is the name of my file, the date it was created, and the person that created it. We have just enabled a new feature to allow you to see whether your notice has been published and if you need to review anything. So I'm going to show you how you can enable that feature and then how you can actually use it. By going into your settings, you can then go into your organization details. And there's two different boxes here. So show your location of where your file is, as well as the notice status column. Once I click on save, and I go back to my main page, you'll notice that I have two new columns. So I have my notice status. Currently, it's not published. And I can then click on publish here to take me directly into the file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on publish. You'll notice then that it's taken to my notice page. Another new feature that we have is this red dot. So anytime that you haven't created a notice, your dot will be red. Anytime you go in and start a notice, are in the middle of it, or you've published it, the dot will change colors to reflect different statuses. So here I'll click on publish notice, and when I'm able to do anything, my dot will change to a yellow color showing that's in progress, and then will change to green showing once it's been finished. Now, if I were to go to any other section, you'll see that we now have a message at the top saying Estateably can publish your notice directly from your file. You can either learn more, which will take you directly to our help desk, or you can click on publish, which again will take you right to our published notices pages. The last thing we've done here is we've automatically created a task for you. So if I here were to search notice, you will see publish a public notice. So you can then set your status as complete. You can set when you have to do it, etc. So you can keep track of this. All right, so for our New York users, we have a new feature that we've been enabled. So it's already enabled for Ontario, as well as BC. And it's this email estate intake. So basically, this will allow you to send the intake to your clients. You'll create a password. Your clients will receive the password. They'll then be able to go into the link that they receive, enter all the information that they can about the deceased, assets, and contacts, and then you'll get it back and you'll be able to import it in. So it saves you time from entering everything yourself, giving your clients the ability to do that. So why don't we take a look together? So I'm going to click on email estate intake. Here, I'm going to enter the email that I'm sending this to. I'll then enter a password that I will provide to my client. So I'm going to go to Estateably 123. So I have all of my criteria again. Estateably 123. And I'm going to click, oops, I forgot my email. Sorry, guys. I'm going to click on next. Now that this is done, this will pop up. So here we have a default body of an email that you can send. This is what your your client is going to receive. You can change this as you see fit. So you can change the whole body here. You can write whatever you like. And then you can click on send. You'll notice here, I don't have a lawyer name in this particular file, which is why it hasn't populated. But for you, it will populate along with your phone number. You can also attach any documents here that you like. And once you click on send, your client will then receive this email and will be able to click on a link that they've received. So I will just wait for this to be done, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the client's end when they receive the email. You'll notice on your screen, you will now see email estate intake has been grayed out, and you have the ability to cancel the link. So if for any reason you've decided you don't want to send it anymore or your client doesn't want to do it, you can simply cancel the link and your password will be nullified. So if I go ahead now and look into, I'm just going to pull over my email, you'll see I've received something from the Estateably team, and I'm going to go as the customer, sorry about that, and click on my link. What this is going to do is it's going to take me to my estate intake page. So here I'll enter the password. I advise that you send the password on the phone as opposed to by email, just for security purposes. Now you'll see here that we have many different sections. So the user will answer every question that they can. So whether they left a will or not, the name. Now you'll notice I'm going to leave this here because if you don't like the way that your client has entered it, you can choose not to import it. Here we have the date of death, the marital status, the address if they know it. If they don't, they can leave it blank. Here, this one is for the New York, so I'm going to click United States. And then if they know the rest of this information, they can enter it. If they don't, they can simply leave it. I'll click on Next. Now, the same will go for any of these sections. If they don't know any of the beneficiary information, they can click on Next. But if they do know a beneficiary, they can click on Add. Here they'll select the type of beneficiary, so how this relationship is to the beneficiary. So it's a family member. Let's say this one is John. And it's a child. You'll be able to enter the rest of the personal information here if they know it, whether they're a minor, if they're mentally incapable, if they're being served or not, their mailing address if they know, and if they have a legal representative. Now I can click on Add a Beneficiary and add as many beneficiaries as I need, and then click on Next. The same with executors, personal representatives. If you know the name of the executor, you can add it. If they don't know the names, they can skip it. So in this case, I'm going to click on Next, and I'm going to skip it because I don't know the executor that I want to add. Our list of assets, I'll click on Add New. Here I can select the type of asset that I want to add. In my case, I know that they have a property. I don't really know the other assets that they have, so I'm only going to enter this one. The currency here for my account, or for my property, sorry, the value at the date of death, same with the current value, and then the ownership type. Oops. I can add as many other assets as I need. I'll then click on Next. And then liabilities, if you know of any, for instance, outstanding bills or maybe a mortgage on the property, you can add them. It looks the same. So here you'll select the liability type. In my case, I know there's a mortgage, so I'm going to go to loans payable. I'll enter the value, 120,000, and the ownership. I'll then click on Submit. And my part as a client is done. So now you, as the lawyer, will receive an email back. And you will also be able to, once you go back into Estateably, I'm just going to refresh my page, see that I can import the estate intake. So clicking on Import the Estate Intake will allow you to see every single thing that your client has entered. So if you don't like what they've entered, if you don't think it's correct, if you've already entered it yourself, you can actually uncheck any of the information here so that it doesn't come into Estateably. And then you can click on Next. We also have the ability to export this information to Excel so you can keep for your records whatever your client sent you to begin with. You have to do this though before you click on Next. I'll then click on Import, and once I click on OK, you will see that my beneficiary was entered with any information that I put there. So here you'll see the information that I had. My executor wasn't there because I chose not to enter it. In my assets, you'll see my property, and my liability will be my loan payable. You can then go in and add in any additional information as needed. All right, on to our Ontario customers. Here is an update specifically about the notice to creditors. So once you click into your file, give me a little moment here for it to load. Here we go. We've given you the ability to download a preview of your notice. So once you've created your notice, you'll see that the preview is here. And we now have this new feature here to click download preview. So doing this will allow you to download it. You can print it out, you can save it as a PDF, do whatever you like, and then you'll have the ability to keep this as a copy for your records. This came directly from feedback that we received and took into account to give you a better experience with our notices. All right, so now into the rest of the demo. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with here is our date of death import. So as Hillary mentioned to begin with, we do have a beta feature right now for investment statement import. For anyone that doesn't have that enabled, what you're going to see is date of death holdings import. This allows you to import a date of death statement. So in my case, my my estate starts on May 31st, so the person died on May 31st. I'm going to be importing the statement from May 1st to May 31st of 2003. So I'm going to click on it. You'll notice that I already have my statement imported. I just didn't want you to have to wait while it loads. However, for you to upload your statement, you just click on Upload Statement, and you'll be able to select the statement. The status will say uploading, and as soon as it turns to pending review, you'll be able to click on Start Review. So I'm going to click on Start Review. I should also mention that I've already created my account in my assets here. So you'll see that I have my Charles Schwab account with nothing in it. So clicking on Start Review will allow you to select your account. Initial position is automatically going to be selected. So you can't select any other position. This is really just what's going to import every single holding that is at the date of death. I'll put my date of death starting date and the ending date. And I'll click on next. Now I'm going to pull over the statement here just to give us a better way to review this together, give some context to what we're looking at. So at the top here, we have all of these holdings. So what I'm going to do is review them with you. So you'll notice we have Royal Bank, we have Advanced, we have Alphabet. Let's take these three for right now. And then if we go over, we have the quantity, we have the unit cost, and we have the market value. Now, the market value for me is pulling directly from the end of the statement because the deceased died on the 31st. However, if the deceased died in the middle of the statement, let's say it was the 15th, the system has logic built into it to automatically take off any transactions that happened after the date of death. So if there were additional sales or purchases to holdings, the quantity will be updated to reflect the quantity as well as the value as of the date of death. So you can do a review here, ensure that everything is correct. You can edit anything by clicking on edit here if something isn't correct. So changing the quantity, adding a symbol if perhaps the system didn't pick it up, changing a price, and clicking on save. You'll then be able to click on validate and then sync. Syncing this will sync directly to the account that you selected, and you'll see that every single holding will then appear in the account. So we'll wait for the sync to finish. It usually takes a few seconds. And we will then be directed right to the account that the holdings were synced to. So let's just give this a moment. And here we go. Now you'll see all of my holdings have been added. So you'll see the original asset here. And if I were to click into it and click on edit, I can see all the different details. Now, for anyone who perhaps entered something or was imported incorrectly, let's say one of the values wasn't right, or there was an error in the import, we have the ability to review date of death values. So this will allow you to update the values for your original assets. So clicking on that, you have every single holding here. You can do it as a total value or the per unit value, and you can make any updates that you need to be reflected accordingly. All right, moving right along, we are going to go to our transactions. So as many of you know, when you do a transfer of cash, the money type is locked. So if you've made an error in the money type, for instance, you clicked other, but you actually wanted it to appear on your report, so you want to change it to capital, or you want to change from capital to revenue, you were not able before to make that edit. You had to delete the transaction, and you then had to redo it. So we've since updated this to allow you to be able to edit that type of transaction. So here I have a transfer cash. If I go ahead and click on edit, you will notice that this is no longer grayed out. I can go ahead and change it to whichever money type suits my needs. And now, instead of being other, it shows as capital. We've also updated this for our bulk editable transactions. So you will see if I can find it. Transfer cash. Let me just search by it, that I'll be able to do it. I will come back to you on that. Lastly is our categories for transactions. So mostly for our US users, you're the ones who have asked a lot about it, specifically California, because the California Standard Report really supports categories and subcategories. We had the ability to create custom categories for you if you were to send us a category list. We've now given you the ability to do this yourselves. So super easy, really user-friendly, and you can add any category that you want into the system to categorize your transactions and make it easier to really have categories that are meaningful to every single thing that you're adding as a transaction. So by clicking on Settings and going to Transaction Categories, this is a new section that we've added, you have the ability here to see everything that's a default within the system. So if it's with trusts, with estates, or with powers of attorney for our Canadian clients. So you can't actually do anything with our default categories, but in our custom categories, you have the ability to add anything you want. You can do this one by one, and you can also do this through import. So you'll see I've already added one, but to add your own, you can click on Add Category. Here you can put the category name. So let's just say legal fees. You can select however many products this relates to, all, one, none, whether it should be a withdrawal or a deposit or both, and whether you want the default money type to be capital or revenue, or for our US users, principal or income. So if you select one, it doesn't mean that you can't change it later. You're always able to edit this. It just means that this is the default category that will be added into your transaction. I'm now going to click on Add Category. Oh, this is a really good example of a category that already exists. So we have this category in our default list of categories. We've let you know that this is already here, so you don't need to create a new category for this. Let's admin fees. Let's do this one. Add category. All right, so you'll now see that my admin fees category is right over here, and I can see whether it's active or not. I can turn off a category so that it's not active, meaning you won't see it in your list of categories to choose from. I can also reactivate it at any point. I can delete it if it's no longer useful, and I can also click on this pencil to edit it and change anything. So maybe I don't like that I had put lowercase here and I want to change it to uppercase. I'll be able to click on Save. Now, if I go back into my file, I'm going to show you how to add them. So here, I have a bunch of uncategorized things. So I'm going to click into my transaction, and I'm going to see if I can find admin fees right over here. So I'm going to decide to categorize this as admin fees. Click on Save. Now I can also do this in bulk. So let's just say every single uncategorized $29.95 is going to be the same admin fee. So let's say all three of these. And I click on, sorry, I did that in the wrong order, bulk editable transactions. I'll be able to bulk edit. Yes, I want to change my category, and I want it to be admin fees. So here you go. As I noted, the default is capital, but I can change this to revenue if needed. Click on Save, proceed, and then you'll see all of my admin fees have been updated. In terms of bulk adding, bulk import. If I click on bulk import here, we support Excel and CSV. In the help desk, which I'm sure we can put in the chat for anyone who is interested, we have the format available for you to be able to add your categories. It's pretty simple, just the file type, the cash flow type, the money type, and then the name of the category that you want to enter. That is everything for me on my list. Wondering if there were any questions.
We had a bunch of questions and we answered a bunch of them, but I think, Leonard, I think you had one that we we're going to revisit with Dahlia so she can answer it for everyone.
Yep, it's about the statement import. So they're wondering if where it has to come from, whether it comes from like a financial institution website or it can come from like a PDF scan, and how it can be imported into the system.
Sure. So for specifically the date of death statement import, it could be from a financial institution. So we accept a statement, so the range of a full month, or it could even be a valuation statement that you receive from your investment institution. A PDF is possible to be read. It would have to be in a format with specific columns that looks similar to what a statement is. And that would really just be dependent on the specific PDF. I would have to see it to be able to see how that would go.
Cool.
Amazing.
Do we have any other questions, Bianca, Marissa, that we need to ask Dahlia while we have everyone's full attention for Q&A?
I see we have just a question that came in now. Let's see. Does the client intake form now automatically import the data into Estateably upon completion?
So it doesn't automatically import. You will get the copy of it. So as you saw, I clicked on validate basically the information. You'll have to choose to ensure that the information that's entered there is something that you want to import, and then you'll be able to click on validate for it to get imported into Estateably.
Awesome.
And we
Dahlia?
also had a request, can Florida use the intake email option? And Jamie, just to let you know, we've got it available in a couple jurisdictions and we're rolling it out in others. So we've taken note on Florida. Thank you for that.
Another question, yeah, regarding the banks. I think there was another question that came in as well. It would also be great to have bank addresses preloaded so you don't need to type them in every time.
Yes, so that's a really good feedback. It's something we've heard multiple times, and it is something that we have on our to-do list. The more people that ask for it, the faster it will get done, and it is definitely something that we are looking into.
Okay, there's one here from Tracy mentioned. So in California, legal fees are split 50% each to income and principal. How would that be entered?
That's a wonderful question, Tracy. I might just share my screen again, and
Oh,
I
sure.
can show you how to split your transactions because we do have that ability in the system. So give me just one moment. Okay, so if I'm in my estate accounting and I click on, I'll just take this admin fee, for instance, split. Here you'll be able to enter how much you want to split it by. So we do have a user feedback item to actually put whether it should be split by 50%, so it automatically calculates the value. For now, you can just put in however much you want it to. So one transaction would be $20, and for instance, this one would be $9.95. One would be, sorry, principal or income. I happen to be in a Canadian environment. And then you will see you get split, you get two transactions here.
Another question about the dated debt statement. Can that be imported or can all subsequent statements be imported as well?
So for the feature that I just demonstrated here, that's specifically for a date of death import specific to estates. The beta that Hillary spoke about to begin with is for any subsequent statements. So that is for investment statements. So any transactions, it could be purchases, it could be sales, it could be reinvestments. All of that will get imported as well as market value updates. So anything on a holding that hasn't happened, but the market value has fluctuated, that's something that will also change with the import. So something that we can enable for you. I know Hillary had put a link in the chat. So if it's something you're interested in, click on the link, enter your name, and we'll get that enabled for you and send you the material for the training.
And switching gears to the estate intake, can the intake be done in steps by the client? They can enter what they have at the beginning. We can import that information, but then they could go back 2 weeks later, for example, and enter more information once they have gathered it. Most of my clients tend to email me everything I need over a few weeks, as they don't always have it all ready at once.
So they could do it in different steps, but it would entail you creating a different password for them every time. So your password is a one-time use password. If they need to, enter something at another time, you'll have to go in and do the same steps. So create your password, give them the password. They'll then receive the link once you've entered the email. Click into that new link and enter additional information. You can then choose whether or not you want to import it or not, or if it's easier, and they submit it to you, you could enter it yourself as well.
Okay, great. So that was for Samantha. Hopefully that information was helpful. Also around intake, how do we customize that outgoing email template going to the client?
So you could do that directly in the template when you're sending it. You can highlight it and erase everything. You can, I mean, add your own context in, do whatever you want, and then it will say the message will have the body and say whatever you'd like it to say to your customer, to your
Okay.
client. Sorry.
Alrighty.
Okay. Just in kind of as we wrap up here, I think there's a couple that we can take offline. Sean had a question that we can take offline and follow up. Any others? Oh, did we, Bianca, the Tracy's question, when you, Dahlia, I'll just give you this last one here. When you import date of death EVP statements, where are the interest accruals entered on the upload? Something
When
we,
you sorry, can you repeat that, Hillary?
when you import date of death EVP statements, where are the interest accruals entered on the upload?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what EVP stands for.
Okay,
Maybe
we'll take
Tracy, if
it.
we could, yeah, okay.
Tracy, we'll get back to you on that questions. We'll take it offline and send you a note after the webinar. Cool. Awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you for all your questions. I don't know if we can get to all of them, but we will follow up with all of you that we can. And if you have any more further questions, support at estateably.com is also a great way to get in touch with us. But thank you all so much for all of your questions. That's great.